Hello everyone, it's Lisa Turner here from Psycademy and you are very, very welcome. Today I'm going to talk to you about guides, transformation, being a spiritual practitioner and psychic insight. So I have just come off a call. It was an open coaching call, a free open coaching call we ran, and we had some amazing people with some awesome questions and answered as many as I could. And so I thought I'd jump on, do a little live to answer some of the questions because they were really great questions and we just ran out of time on the call. So, and they're questions that I hear, questions like this a lot. So the first question is, and if you have any other questions, please post them. And if you're on the replay, post the question. I'll either answer it here today or I will come back to it on in another live. I'll either answer it. So I'll either answer it today or I'll post a little reply to it. Someone was Skyping me there and I just have to come back to them. Okay, so question. And so a lot of people ask me about spirit guides. How do they connect to their guide? How do they know if it's a guide? How do you know if there's an even higher level guide? So I thought I would start with to explain to you how you know where your psychic insights are coming from, or whether they're coming from guides or somewhere else. So a true guide, and a guide that I think is really the most useful and helpful and supportive kind of guide, is a guide that's a highly evolved stream of consciousness, and they typically, really evolved ones, they haven't necessarily incarnated before, and they choose to work with you, us, in the physical form, so that they can learn how to evolve, so that they can kind of earn the right to a physical body, I guess. So they kind of practice with us. Now, one of the things I don't work with personally, is I don't work with people who have lived and then passed over. The reason is they tend not to always be it's very comforting to people to know that there's life after death, but they're not always still connected to source. And that's because of a mechanism that happens post-death. So post-death, the physical body is gone, so that physical energy source has disappeared. Then the individual's spiritual body returns to source, which is right. That's what should happen. And then the emotional and mental body sometimes hangs around for a bit. And that's what a lot of people are communicating with when they're communicating with someone who's passed over. So it's essentially the unconscious mind of somebody else, of this person who's passed over. And the thing is, it's like, why would you want to work with the unconscious mind of somebody when you could work with the higher self? So let's look at levels of guide. So we have and the way to understand this best is to understand the three minds. So there's not really three minds, there's three aspects of the mind. So you have your conscious mind, then you have your unconscious mind, which is kind of around that. So if you imagine like Russian dolls, so spheres. So you have inside the center is your conscious mind. Then around that is your unconscious mind. Conscious, unconscious, and then beyond that is higher self, and beyond that is even more highly evolved beings, and beyond that is highly evolved beings, entities, guides, beyond that, until ultimately your source. All right, now what most people do is many people are only communicating with their unconscious mind, and that enables them to communicate with the unconscious mind of other people who've lived or other people who are living. So this is where a lot of people get their psychic insights from. It's from the unconscious mind of other people. It's great, it's useful, or sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's just interesting. But wouldn't it be even better if you're always communicating at the level of a higher self? And wouldn't it be even better than that if you're always communicating at an even higher level? So how do you know if you're ready for a higher level of guide? Well, here are some of just some thoughts, and these are just my thoughts, and I'd love your take on it and if this is useful. So if you find that your communication is a little bit hit and miss, if you have been working with a guide and then they seem to have disappeared, frequently that's because you're evolving to a higher state of being such that it would probably serve you to start thinking about working on attracting a higher level of guide. So how do you do that? Well, one of the things that we do in Psycademy, and we actually do this on our spiritual practitioner training, is we initiate you into your guide. So what does that mean? So what we do is we create a guide for you. And so what we do is essentially I go to a level that's just below the level of the archangels, which is pretty big out here in the whole expansion thing. I create a form of energy that it will be your guide, and then I bring it back and I install it in your energy, and it's perfect. Like, in fact, I don't really do a lot of this. I do this with the work of my guides that I've been initiated into. And the way I think about this is, like, there's a lot of spiritual trainings and spiritual schools out there, and they're very, some of them are great and some of them are not so great. And here's some of the things to look out for that might be why you're not yet communicating with a higher level guide. So think about it like this. I mean, maybe you've had that experience, like you've been, you've gone to the training and you've sat in the circle and you've held the talking stick, or you've done your meditating and you're still not getting your guide and you're still not getting anything, or it's hit and miss and there's nothing. So this is a little bit like having an engine, and your engine may be perfect, but you have no fuel. Or it might be that you've got the fuel and you've got the engine, but you don't have a starter motor. So when you drive your car and you start your car and you turn the key and it makes that noise, and then it goes vroom, right? The vroom noise is with the engine starting. Now that's you being connected to your guide. But the starter motor, that's the process of initiation. Now, once you've been initiated, your guide is always there. It's always there for you, and you never need to have that process again. You might choose it. In fact, what we find is that every single person who's gone through our initiation process, even if they have a guide or they have a lower level guide or any level guide, like even if they've been through our initiation process, when they go through it again, they get an even higher level guide, or they get more guides, or it's more intense. So another metaphor, so that's sort of, I hope that's an explanation for initiation. Now, one of the questions people ask me a lot is, it's a bit like, my life is, I'm getting these great results from my clients, but my life is still in chaos, or it's great, but I still have challenges. And why can't I get for myself the results I get for my clients? And another metaphor for this is, it's a bit like, imagine you are a driving instructor for an advanced driving instructor, and you've got this really flash car so you work for this driving school, and they give you this really flash car, and it's got twin carburetors, V8, huge, beautiful engine, and you do this amazing driving, but you don't own it. It belongs to the driving school. So at the end of the day, you have to walk home, right? That's why your life isn't at that level, and it's really to do with energy. So if you are interested in being initiated into your guide, and that will enable you to perform our emotional release process, which we call higher self therapy, or sometimes we just call it the Psycademy emotional release process. If you want to learn how to do that and experience that, or you just want to have a conversation, if you want to have a chat with us, I'm going to drop a link in the comments, and it's a link to our certified spiritual practitioner training. Unlike a lot of certification trainings out there, you'll get the certification because you show up. With ours, you get the certification when you're ready to receive your guide, and you get your guide. Wow, how cool is that? So I'm going to drop that in here's what in the comments, and here's what will happen. Go to the link, fill in the application form. So click on the link. There's an application form. Click on that. It's just an online form. I'll ask you a few questions. Then you can book a conversation with either myself or one of my team, and we'll work out if this is right for you or not. I don't know. Might be right for you, might not be right for you. I don't know. If it's not, and be really clear, if it's not right for you, I won't even offer you a place. I might offer you something else, and I might offer you to go to another trainer. I will, we always work from the principle, like we never want someone, if it's not in their highest good, it's not going to serve anyone, right? It's not in your highest good, it's not going to serve anyone. So this is also true of you with your clients, right? You wouldn't work with a client it's not for their highest good or your highest good for you to work together. So that's what we do. So, another question people often ask, why do your guides leave you sometimes? And so why do your guides leave you? And I had somebody email me, and it was really quite a heart-rending, wrenching, I don't know, an emotional email, just an emotional email. So she was saying she was really heartbroken because she had this guide, worked with lots of, worked with this guide for a long time, and they really got on well with this guide, and then they just vanished. And the chances are that they had started to evolve so that they were ready for a higher level guide. Alexandra, hello, my darling. So you say, hi, I've done that already. What is it what's that you've done? I don't know what you mean by that. I'd love to know what you've done. Do let me know. Have you already applied? Is that what you mean? I haven't seen your application. I would love to have a conversation with you if that's what you feel called to. And I am great. I'm really great today. I'm going to go and have a bit of a snack in a minute after this. I always have a snack after my Facebook Lives. It's like my little reward. But it's like I've done my live. And often I finish the day. It's like my reward for the end of the day. I get a snack. So I think today I'm going to have, there's a really nice avocado it's really ripe. So I'm going to have a nice ripe avocado. So any other questions about guides that you want to share, that you want to ask? Any experiences? Like, what's your most intense experience of a guide? One other thing. Awesome, Alexandra. Awesome. Have you booked a session? Let me know if you haven't. Email support and we'll sort that out. Okay. I was going to say something. What was I going to say? It was about guides, about something. Can't remember. Anyway, let's see if there's any other questions. I will. Yeah, if you filled in your form, I don't think I've seen your application form, Alexandra. So, have you booked a session? Do you know if you've booked a session? Because I don't think I've seen that. I don't think I've seen so email support@psycademy.co.uk. I'll drop that in the box as well. You can just email us and or just hit reply to, if you're on our newsletter list, just hit reply to that. So, what's that? There's a weird noise just happened. I have no idea what that noise meant. I'm sure it meant something really significant. What could it mean? It's a Facebook noise. I know it's a Facebook noise. I wonder what that meant. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, talked about guides, talked about getting the results you want, talked about, so one of the questions is about psychic insights and about the level of psychic insight. So one of the things, I'm an ex-engineer. I'm probably still an engineer. And so Alexandra said, not yet got anything. So let me talk you through, actually, great. So let me talk you through what happens with the spiritual practitioner application process. So you go to the link that I'm going to drop you in a moment. It's spiritualpractitionertraining.com. How's that? There we go. She knows it. Spiritualpractitionertraining.com. In there, you fill in the application form. When you filled in the application form, you are immediately taken to a page where you can book a session automatically. So just go and do that, and you can book a session. Just if you haven't got anything yet, just email support again, and we'll see what's going on there. I don't know. Maybe your emails aren't getting through. Sometimes that happens. It's weird. It's just weird. Okay. So let me know if you have any other questions. Chrissy, lovely to see you here. I definitely haven't had yours yet. Definitely haven't had yours. Just thinking what else. I'm just feeling like there's some messages coming through. What are your questions? What are your questions about spiritual development, about spiritual evolution? Oh, yeah, here's a good message that's coming through. So one of the things people often ask me is, like, when's it going to stop? Like, I keep doing these trainings, and when am I done? So let's talk about spiritual evolution. So the idea of spiritual evolution is, and this will help you understand judgment and positive and negative energy and why you don't really need protection, right? So the idea of spiritual evolution, spiritual awakening, is to become one with everything. Most people have this. Most people agree this, yeah? So if the idea is to become one with everything, so ultimately you evolve. So remember, conscious mind, unconscious mind, higher self, beyond, until you are source, until you have the experience of being source. So we as people, as humans, are individuations of source so that source can experience. Like source knows, but source can't experience unless it's in the physical body. By the way, that's why that's why your guide chooses to work with you. Effectively, it's a more highly evolved aspect of source that's choosing to work with you so that it can experience what it's like to be in the physical world, okay, in the physical realm. So your guide, so the idea is you will continue to evolve until you have this experience of being source, of being at one, right? So how do you know if you're ready for a higher level guide? Do you experience yourself being source all the time? And if you did, then you probably wouldn't be in the physical body, right? So that's the first clue that you're ready for a higher level guide. How do you know if you are, the other idea is, it's another way of knowing that you're ready for a higher level guide is, and that, you know, that it's still time to continue with your evolution is when you have the experience of, so if you don't have the experience of being source all the time, you know, so we're an individuation, we're expanding to be source, like evolving and awakening to be source. Why would you ever stop? Like, is there this point, like, here, I'm done, I am God? Like, I don't think anyone in the physical body would ever say that. So there's always more to learn and grow. The other thing this helps us understand is this idea of dichotomy. So you've probably heard me speak in other Facebook Lives about why, it's really about why, so it's kind of just, you know, so we have this experience of like why you experience negative things in the world. And that's because you're in duality, right? So if you experience negative and positive, and as soon as you talk in those terms, and a lot of people use the term, I need to protect myself from negative energy. Negative energy comes at me. Or they'll say things like, I need more clients. That's a duality statement. They'll say things like, I need to protect myself. That's a duality statement, and I'm going to explain why. So if the idea is that we become one with everything, we become one with the universe, right? Then what would you need to protect yourself from? Like, I want to become one with everything except the bad stuff, because I don't want to be one with, I want to be one with everything except the bad stuff. Well, what if there is no bad stuff? What if it's just all source? Because it is, right? I mean, it kind of has to be. If source is everything, if God, the universe is everything, and the idea is that we become one with everything, then there should be no differential between good and bad. There's just useful and not useful in this particular moment, right? Are you with me? So, so people might be thinking, okay, so when you say, if I say I need more clients, how is that a duality statement? It's a duality statement because it has the concept of me, I, client over there, right? They client, me person, me practitioner, they client. That's separation. That's duality. When you experience yourself as like, there is no here and there is no me and they, there is just us, right? We can play the game of pretending that we're separate. And the only reason you would experience lack of money, lack of clients, lack of finances, lack of anything in your life, the only reason you would experience lack is because you're in duality and you're using metaphysics against you. It's like, I'm here, so the thing I want is over there and I need to get it, right? Rather than saying, it's all here, it's all now. I might need to take some action, but I just need to, that's the action I take just to have that happen. But it's here right now. So that's how you move to unity, is to start being aware of everything being all, being one, you being unity. So I will drop that link in the comments so that you can go and have a read about how to read about the spiritual practitioner training. Look, I'm going and doing it now. I'm doing it as we speak. I don't know if I can do it while I'm doing it on here. Yeah, I can. There we go. All right. So there's the spiritual practitioner training link. Go and have a look at that. Fill in the application. There is no obligation to do anything. And if it's not right, we won't even offer you a place. There are, at this stage, places are limited. There are only, I think we said there are only 16 places left for the 2018 program. And it starts the minute you enroll, and applications will be closed completely. And the fast action discounty cool thing will disappear way before we start in applications will close mid-January, and the fast action-y thing will disappear way before that. Hey, Farah, you're here. Cool. Farah is one of our initiates. Do you like it when I say that, Farah? I thought you'd like that. Farah is one of our initiates. She is learning to receive the initiation into the seed crystal. And part of that is being on the spiritual practitioner training. If you want to know more about that, do you know what? Fill in the application form. We'll have a conversation. Let me know in the application form, what the heck is the initiation thingy? But you know what? We have 1 space left on that, and we already have 13 people have already applied for it. So you'll be lucky to get that one, and you may be lucky. You may be one of the lucky ones. Alrighty, my darlings. So till next time, lots and lots of love, and I will speak to you soon. Lots and lots of love. Bye for now. Bye.